Okay, so if you're watching this or you're listening somewhere, you've probably been studying Shaar HaBitachon with me, and maybe you're excited or curious what's this update because we covered the entire text of the book from the beginning to the end. So, what's happening here? Is this a round two? Are we starting over again? So I want to clarify a little history of the Shaar HaBitachon course because a lot of you have come over to me in person and told me that you studied Shaar HaBitachon with me, and I'm not sure that everybody knows, how it came to be, and then like where it's supposed to lead to. It came to be during the spring of 2020, during the lockdown, where I was basically, I mean, most of us were just at home, and I said I got to make myself productive somehow. And so I started this class. It was officially for Chabad of the Five Towns, that's where I'm locally based in the Five Towns. But it was on Zoom, so it was open to anyone. And then we would take the recordings and we would post them usually later that night or the next morning on YouTube, and then on the other like podcast platforms. Um, what happened is, it started as something of like, it was a nightly class, 30 minutes a night, every night, I think 10 p.m. It started as just a way to keep ourselves busy, be productive, but it's 5 years later now. And obviously thousands, tens of thousands, I think maybe if you add it all up, hundreds of thousands of views and listens later, it became much more than just what it was at the time, which I'm very, very grateful for. And like I said, people still come up to me in person and tell me how much it meant to them to study Shaar HaBitachon with me. Where's it supposed to lead to? So where's it supposed to lead to is increased bitachon in your life. I, you know, as an aside, I give a parenting course. So people ask me, I've had at this point over 2,000 mothers and fathers who have taken my parenting course, which I'm very, very proud of, to say that I've been entrusted by families to help them with their parenting. When parents will ask me, okay, what what Jewish book, what holy book should I study to help me with parenting? You know what I tell them? Shaar HaBitachon. Because I tell them the best thing you can do as a parent is emotional regulation, meaning to learn how to not be triggered by the stresses of life. And where are you going to get that from? Shaar HaBitachon, right? So Shaar HaBitachon is so much more than just let's go through the Sefer, or even go through the Sefer a few times, because I know a lot of people have told me that they went through the classes a few times because I mentioned, based on a letter of the Rebbe to Mendel Shem Tov, where he told him to go through Shaar HaBitachon a few times. So a lot of people have told me they actually went through Shaar HaBitachon a few times. But it's much more than just learning it, it's applying it. And applying it means in parenting. Applying it means, here's another area that triggers us a lot, financial, our making a living, money. It has to do with our relationships with other people. It has to do with our general feeling of purpose and joy in life. When we think about, what's it all about? It all comes down to this ability to feel safe and secure under any circumstances, to be confident that God is orchestrating every detail for our benefit, even when we don't see it, even when we're going through a painful situation, and to be able to surrender to that and move through the current chapter of life gracefully. Now, I want to share with you personally an area where Shaar HaBitachon, I implemented it personally, but in a way that was much more than just personal. It ended up affecting others, and it's continuing to affect others. Actually, you're looking at it right now. If you're watching this on a video, you're seeing me in this studio, which is a new studio. The Shaar HaBitachon that you watched was recorded in 2 studios ago. So this is now 2 locations later, but right now we're in the Soulward Studios, which is a brand new state-of-the-art video production facility, which we have in the basement of the Soulward House, which is a physical location that we procured a half a block from the Eihel, from the Lubavitcher Rebbe's resting place in Queens, which, like I said, the basement is a full video production facility. First floor is an event space where, thank God, even though we only opened a few months ago, we've already had thousands of people come through and learn with us and gather. And we had events on various meaningful occasions, like on Lag BaOmer. We had on Gimel Tammuz on the Rebbe's yard site. We've been able to use this place as a center for gathering and for communal growth. It's been a tremendous thing. But I want to tell you that this house is a direct outgrowth of the Shaar HaBitachon classes which I gave. Because basically, like I told you, this was in 2020. After the classes, after things opened up a little, 2020, 2021, so it became clear to me that Soulwards as a virtual community was growing and that there needed to be some type of physical component. Primarily, Soulwards is a virtual community. And in fact, we now, Baruch Hashem, have 10 million people a month who engage with our content across all platforms. You add it all together, the YouTube and the TikTok and the Instagram and everything together. Yeah, it's 10 million people a month who are engaging with our content. So it's a virtual community, but also, we are souls and bodies. And for me personally, I've shared this, that's one of my struggles is embodiment. I'm very comfortable being in the world of abstraction and ideas and deep thought. And it's harder for me to show up, to show up in physical form. And I knew that there had to be some component of a physical place where the Soulwards community could meet from time to time at events, classes, fabrengens. So I started to look for a location. And like I told you, I'm in the Five Towns, which is 20 minutes from the Eihel. I'm at the Eihel 4 or 5 times a week anyway. I often meet groups here to prepare for going into the Eihel. And I realized, this is the location. Where else? Where else should I be? And so we started scouting around for a location. And, there's nothing but like houses here. It's a residential area. And the houses, it's New York, the rates, the prices are expensive, right? But I decided this is what we need for the next phase of growth, to go from the virtual to the physical. And so with bitachon, with full confidence that if this is meant for the growth of this community, an opportunity will present itself. And by the way, I was watching this area for so long. Very few opportunities open up like we're half a block from the Eihel, and I was only going to do something that was like a block or less from the Eihel. And then an opportunity presented itself. And, it's a lot of money. But Baruch Hashem, we do an annual fundraiser. Every year we do a fundraiser. And with all the support, I set my intention that we're going to have this house. So I raised the goal of the fundraiser. With all the support from the Soulwards community, we had the down payment, just barely had the down payment. And we got an accepted offer 2 years ago on Gimel Tammuz. The seller accepted our offer on the Rebbe's yard site. We got the good news; they accepted the offer. Okay, so that was 2 years ago. Spent all of our money on the down payment. So what are we going to do now? So we have this amazing location. They say in real estate, everything, the 3 most important things of a property are location, location, location. So we have this amazing location, but no more money. So again, the bitachon was, okay, it's going to be okay. We're going to continue to pay a mortgage. We're going to continue to pay utilities. And the Soulwards community is a very supportive community. You can't hit them up for money every day, but we'll do another annual campaign a year from now. We got to wait a year. And so that's what happened. So last year we did another annual campaign, and we were able to do the renovations on this house and create this amazing, I don't know how to describe it other than this haven, this peaceful oasis of this very warm, inviting physical space for spiritual growth. And it's Gimel Tammuz on the Rebbe's yard site. We had the house open 24 hours, and we had visitors from all over the world, literally from all over the world. It was very, very special. And we learned the Rebbe's Maimer, Ve'ata Titzaveh, and we did it in 3 installments, night, morning, afternoon, and we live streamed it all. Everything we do here, we live stream. Everything, the house is wired for being like a lighthouse to the world, like a beacon to the world. So all of our events that we do in person here, it's all set up for live streaming. We put it out on all of our platforms. So thank God we finished the renovations and we opened the house. We actually officially opened the house Yud Aleph Nisan, the Rebbe's birthday of this year. Took about a year of renovation. Okay, so now we've got this house open. But now, and this is where you come in, my dear friends. I've got to fill this house with programs, with classes, with gatherings, with events, Verbringens. And that's on top of the team that keeps all of the online content going, the long form content and the short form content. Like all of that requires a team. It's not just me. Hope you realize that. So with Bitachon, I raised our fundraising goal for this year to $600,000. And we started a campaign. We launched it on Chof Aleph Sivan, which is my birthday, in case you want to get me a birthday present. And that was over a month ago. And we did not reach our goal. We got about 75% of the way to the goal. And I said, I'm not stopping. I know that the Soulward's virtual community is an incredibly devoted and connected community. And the love is out there. The support is out there. It's just a matter of time, just getting in front of everybody, letting them know, reminding them that we need their help. We're going to reach our goal. So I want to just update you because it's now 5 weeks after we started the campaign, but we're moving. There's still progress. Now we're at 83% of our goal. I told you it's a $600,000 campaign. So we're now at $502,414, which means that we are less than $98,000 away from finishing, but it's all matched funds. There are matchers here, so everything is double. So really, we're $49,000 away. We're $49,000. Like, okay, so here's how I look at it. If I look at all the people who have learned Shaar HaBitachon with me, and I add up all the numbers across all the platforms, you're talking about tens of thousands of people. Easily 50,000 people, probably more. But conservative estimate, 50,000. If everyone who studied Shaar HaBitachon with me would give $1, just give $1, we'd be done with the campaign right now. And then I could move on from fundraising mode and just focus on creating programs and classes and content, which is where I'm happiest. But I have full bitachon that if right now we're still in fundraising mode, then this is where Hashem needs me to be for right now. That's okay. And I thought about it. You know, sometimes I learned this from fundraising calls. Sometimes I reach out to someone to ask them to support Soulwards, and it's not even about the donation. Sometimes they don't even give a donation, but it's about the connection, just checking in with that person. And it's always something happens whenever you reach out and you make that connection. It's always something that happens. So whether it's for, you know, they give a donation, they don't give a donation, but there's a connection. And so it occurs to me that maybe the reason we haven't reached the goal yet is because I haven't reached out to my Shaar HaBitachon Chavra in 5 years. And maybe it even occurred to me that a lot of you don't even know about the other content that we have. Like some of you, maybe you study Shaar HaBitachon with me and then it stopped there. So I just want to let you know, first of all, there's this whole website, soulwords.org, but nobody uses websites anymore. Very few people use websites. But if you want to use a website, soulwords.org, which has not just Shaar HaBitachon, but it has Tanya and it has Parsha and it has Maimorim, it has lectures on holidays and on life cycle events and on all types of topics. But then, of course, there's like the podcast platforms like Spotify and Apple Podcasts and the like. So do you realize that Shaar HaBitachon is just one podcast series that we have? We actually have like, I think 15 different series of different types of content, or you can just subscribe to what's called full library. but it's so hard that it's hard to find because I think the search functions on these podcast platforms are not very robust, and the algorithm doesn't. I don't know. It hasn't been working in our favor. But if you'll look for Soul Words or Rabbi Shais Taub full library, and then you'll get all of our content, or YouTube. A lot of you engaged with these classes on YouTube, so subscribe to the channel. If you're watching it on YouTube right now, subscribe to the channel. So that you'll see all the other content that we put out. It's not just Shaar HaBitachon. That's one thing that we're very proud to have been involved in, but there's so much more content. So bottom line's like this. If you can give $1 or more, but at least, give $1, that would be amazing. And if everyone just does $1, we'll be done, and then we can move on from fundraising mode. If you'd like to write a message, I read all of the dedication messages. I read them. I enjoy them. I read them probably more than once because sometimes, I'll be honest with you. There are times when I need motivation in my shlichus and what I do, and I'll reread the dedications that people wrote on the website, on the campaign website, and it gives me the encouragement to go on. I'll mention the name of it. We'll write it also in the description, but charitywithad.com/RST. RST is like Rabbi Shais Taub. charitywithad.com/RST. Give any amount. And even if you're not able to give $1 right now, so first of all, we want to wish you should have parnasa barachava, you should have ample sustenance, you should have so much money that you can support all the causes that you want to support, and to do so comfortably. But if you can't give right now, it's understandable. Please maybe subscribe to whatever platform you're watching this on right now, like subscribe, or at least give the algorithm some indication. Leave a comment. Leaving a comment is a strong user signal to the algorithm that you want more of this content. Or a like, even just, put a little like. But whatever it is, it'll just help us to be in each other's lives more frequently. In case you haven't heard from me since you were studying Shaar HaBitachon with me, this is me popping up and saying, hey, let's renew our connection. Okay, thank you for watching. Thank you for your support. Thank you for being part of this journey, the Soulward's journey. May it continue to bear fruit and to benefit many, many more people in connecting with the wisdom and the clarity of Torah and applying that into our day-to-day lives. Thank you very much, and blessings to all of you.